What do this and this have in common? They're made by the same company that made this. I'll tell you more about them in just a minute. For now, let's go for a drive, shall we? If you're familiar with BMWs, then you'd know about M Division. But what you may not know is that before there was M, there was Alpina, a small company from Buchloe, Germany that was taking ordinary BMWs and turning them into intercontinental ballistic missiles of ferocious speed. Rumor has it that BMW actually consulted Alpina when setting up M Division in the early 1970s, because by then, Alpina were already a very successful racing team with their upgraded BMWs. And that relationship still continues today, with the research departments of both Alpina and M sharing knowledge and parts freely with each other.
So what's an Alpina then? It's not just a BMW with stickers, or a cheaper alternative to M cars. Heck, it's not even a BMW anymore. It's sold as an Alpina, a fact proven by the scratched out BMW VIN under the hood, now replaced with an Alpina VIN.
Alpina is the passion project of Burkhard Bovensiepen, the founder, who convinced his father to allow him to leave the family typewriter business, hence the opening image, and enter the auto industry.
And since then, Alpina has been producing some of the most intriguing BMWs and building a very loyal fan base of owners and collectors around the world.
So why would someone choose an Alpina over an equivalent M model? Suddenly become horror movie. That face only a mother could love. That's one very good reason. But you see, there are other reasons. In recent years, M cars have increasingly been associated with polo t-shirts with upturned collars, Balenciaga anti-fashion sneakers, and wearing oversized aviators indoors. I feel they've become more about making loud statements and less about what they were actually known for, being bloody good driver's cars. And sometimes, a little bit of restraint actually oozes so much more class. So, if you wanted to enjoy everything that the ultimate driving machine had to offer, but didn't want to attract that sort of attention, well, that's where Alpina comes in.
The Alpina recipe is simple. Start with an ordinary non-M BMW. This car started life as a regular 3 Series. Pull it off the production line when most of the essentials have been completed by BMW, bring it over to the Alpina factory, and work the Alpina magic.
In current form, that means fettling the engine for more power and torque, reworking the suspension to provide sublime ride quality, replacing the exhaust with a more sonorous and yet still very civilized version, more on that in a bit, and finally, swathing the interior with the luxurious feel of Lavellina leather so that you're corseted every time you're in the car.
It's like taking some half-decent garment and making a finely tailored suit out of it. And, like a finely tailored suit, you really have to pay attention to the details to spot an Alpina from a regular BMW. Blink and you'll miss it. Here's what to look out for.
One of the key defining features of any Alpina is this: no not the slightly out of shape spare tire that's hiding underneath this t-shirt. Okay, very out of shape, but that's not the point. The point is this, the classic 20-spoke Alpina wheel. This wheel has adorned Alpina since the 1960s and remains largely unchanged. It's a gorgeous design, and I rank it in my personal top 3 wheel designs of all time. And then we have the decals, or deco lines as Alpina calls them, that line the sides of most Alpinas. Harkening back to the days of hand-painted pinstripes on coach-built cars and referencing Alpina's own racing heritage.
On the inside, you'll find more overt references to the origins of the car. Each Alpina comes with its own serial number engraved on a plaque as a certificate of authenticity and exclusivity. You'll find the original Alpina logo proudly and prominently displayed on the steering wheel and the seating upholstery and the floor mats to remind you that you're in an Alpina, not a BMW.
And lastly, you'll notice the strange model designation on the back of the BMW, often starting with the letters B or D. This is an Alpina B3 based on a BMW 3 Series. But in keeping with the theme of being discreet and classy, it's been debadged altogether. So for the uninitiated, this is just a regular 3 Series touring, going about the school run on a daily basis.
But the Alpina B3 doesn't drive like a regular 3 Series BMW. You'll notice that from the moment you first depress the accelerator pedal. This thing is ballistic. You'll notice that from the minute the car starts to move forward. That would of course be due to the 600, that's right, 600 Newton meters of torque that's available from as low down as 2000 RPM. That's more than the equivalent M3 of its time. The Alpina magic also comes from the dark arts of suspension tuning, because no other performance car I've driven has been set up so perfectly right out of the box. Best road car suspension in its class, bar none. Did I mention that the Alpina comes with the Krapovic exhaust as standard? Yes, the same Krapovic exhaust that car enthusiasts spend thousands on is standard on the Alpina. They've even modified the car for you legally so that you don't have to waste your time doing it. I've had the privilege of driving the Alpina B3 at a track day in Sepang, and it definitely feels much more at home devouring vast distances on the North-South Highway than being hurled around the corners at the track. So let me make this very clear. The Alpina B3 is not an M3, nor is it even trying to be an M3. The philosophies of Alpina and M are just so different. If you're more about enjoying the drive rather than eking out every last millisecond that's available around the racetrack, then you'll fit snugly into the Alpina's plush seats. And before the M fanboys can jump on here and say, but my M3 also can... Dude, relax. Not saying that one is better than the other, they're just different, despite having very similar basic ingredients and starting points. They're different, like Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, or Chai Tao Kuei, black or white. Not better, just different. But it does take a particular type of individual to appreciate all that the Alpina B3, or any other Alpina for that matter, has to offer. They're special cars indeed. And this one's extra special, because this one is mine. That's it for now. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Oh, and it would be really helpful if you hit the subscribe and like buttons to see more episodes from The Spare Tire. And if you want to see other cars being featured in our reviews, let me know in the comments, or hit me up on Instagram @The Spare Tire Official, or on Facebook @Rubbershanks. That's it for now.